Hello everyone, this is the Beta65 from BetaFPV. This features BetaFPV branded 1103B 10,000 kV motors, 1735 4-blade propellers, 6-amp 4-in-1 ESC, F3 flight controller, 600 TV line, 48 channel camera and VTX. It came with the heat shrink already on it. I put on the JST. Comes in FR Sky and DSMX versions. It's 65 millimeters. Just like this. Bottom plate's a little over 1 millimeter. The very bottom plate is about the same. Mine weighs 35.5 grams. The prop guards are made of carbon fiber and nylon. Prop guards weigh 6.5 grams. It does come with a battery that has an XT30. It's 450 milliamp. I don't buy that C rating at all. Look at that, it came with prop screws. Inside this nicely branded bag, it's some bits and bobs and screws and carbon fiber pieces for your prop guards. And in this bag is Velcro and a couple more rubber bands. This battery weighs 29.7 grams. Everything all together weighs 71.9 grams. I've been flying a lot with this Oversky battery. It's 17.2 grams. I've been pretty happy with this one. And it's kind of nice after breaking 2 in a row that I got a couple that I actually kind of like, and they fly pretty well. And the one thing that I have to draw your attention to is a few things that they did here to kind of cover their bases. You know, they twisted this all up. They didn't have to do that. They could have just left it straight. It could have been flapping around and creating vibration or maybe getting hung up on something, but they didn't do that. I'm not crazy about the receiver being down here at the bottom, but I understand they've got restrictions. They're trying to keep it small. And I do think it's fairly interesting that they've got the flight controller down low here. It didn't have any negative impact on how the machine performed. They also took the time and care to use a thicker gauge wire. Please note that manufacturers, this is 18 gauge wire. Put these side to side. Even though I like this one, I prefer thicker gauge wire, even if you're using a JST. Hopefully you can get a little bit of a difference there. So this is probably 20 or 22. Unfortunately, the print that is on there does not have the print for the gauge. It's not printed very well. And you can see very clearly, hopefully, that's 18 gauge wire. So I like that. And I have to give them props for that. Something else I like is when I placed the order, it took a couple of weeks to arrive. It shipped out of Los Angeles, though, so it didn't have far to go. I'm here in the States. And when I got it, I couldn't remember which version I asked for. I couldn't remember if I got the FR Sky version or if I got the DSMX. You know, I can do either one, so I couldn't remember, and I was having a little bit of difficulties binding. And so I was like, all right, let's just see what happens. I shot him off an email. The next day, you know, I sent off that email at like, 11 o'clock at night or something like that. The next day I had a response before lunchtime. And so if you're looking for customer support, that's one instance. It's only one instance where you can actually contact them and they're going to get back to you relatively quickly. They're not going to ask you a bunch of questions and they're not going to come back with a message that is difficult to understand. I think they're building a company right. They've also got other products more in the Whoop category with the brush versions, but I'm excited to see what they come up with next because I really like this one. I think they used some nice components. I think they used a little bit of a unique design, and they also kept the profile down about as low as they could. You know, they could shave off a few millimeters down here, but this is where we're going to have a lot of impact, and that's probably why they didn't use the clear tubing down low. I'm just going to try to draw your attention that tubing right here. I don't know where you get that stuff, but I'd like to have some. We've got that above and below the ESCs, but down here we've got nylon, so this is all threaded through here, and I don't think these are threaded. And then we've got some screws here holding our camera mount down. And the camera mount does look to be some sort of the harder 3D print material on here. I haven't had any problems. I've had lots of crashes as normal, and I haven't had any issues with any of the components giving me fits. I do think the one miss, and it's just a slight miss, really, I don't want to speak too loudly here, the OSD. I think we're starting to expect that more and more, and I really like it. I don't know how you guys feel. Hey, if you want to vote for OSDs, yes or no, leave a comment down below. I would prefer to have it. It helps me keep track of my battery, especially on super micros like this, where you don't have a buzzer. You could possibly squeeze a buzzer and then kind of glue it down in this area where your flight controller is. And that's something else that they could do. We've got these buzzers that are so small now, and they do a fair job of emitting sound. We could possibly mount a buzzer down here somehow, but they just have it in this case. I think this is going for about 99 bucks. I really can't complain. If you're someone who does not want to see your props in view, this isn't going to be the vehicle for you, though. If you don't have a lot of experience flying with these machines that have the props in view, when you watch the video of the flight, it will be much more noticeable than your experience in the goggles. But with that said, if you're wanting to do recordings and share it with other people, you may just not want that. And that's a personal preference. It's something you have to decide. To me, I noticed it a lot when I watch back the video when I do my editing. I did not notice it when I was flying. So that's something to consider. Overall, I think it's a good product. If you're interested in something like this, I'll put a link down below. If you have any comments or questions, please leave those down below. And thanks for watching.